No, your lunch could actually be secretly spiking your blood sugar. The truth is, it is not just what you eat, it is rather how you eat.
With 5 simple tweaks, you can crush afternoon crashes and stay energized all day.
Oh my goodness, that's what it is. We want you to stay energized all day with your lunch. We don't want you to be hungry anytime. All right, so you get ready to transform your lunch and take control of your blood sugar today. If that's what it is, then let's
Let's go.
go. All right. So perfect. We're going to actually be talking, as you probably could tell, we are talking about how to tweak your lunches so that they become the perfect ones, not to spike your blood sugar levels if you are worried about blood sugar levels going up, or if you don't have diabetes and you want to protect yourself against getting diabetes. We're going to talk about 5 simple tweaks to do that. And then after that, we actually have some nice pictures of some common diets: standard American diet, standard African diet, standard Indian diet, you name it, whatever diet, come on, man. And we are going to basically critique some of the diets or foods that you eat for lunch, tell you what is good about them and what is bad about them, and hopefully convince you to make some small but important changes so that you become healthier. And so that is how our show is going to run. So the first, we're going to be talking about 5 basic things so that even if you don't eat some of the foods we're going to show you, at least you would still benefit. So we're going to talk about 5 ways to tweak your lunch and make it happen the way you want it to be.
Yes.
So
The first one is, how do you demarcate your plate? So the perfect way to put your food on the plate. So how do you fill your plate?
How do you fill your plate?
Or what do you fill your plate with, if I can simplify it that way? So the first part is, if you divide your plate into half, 50% should be non-starchy foods, veggies. So you are going to fill half of your plate with veggies like spinach. We're talking about lunch, right?
Yes.
So spinach, broccoli, zucchini. So the one that have less amount of carbohydrates, the veggies, Then a quarter of your plate should be your lean protein, which is more like we recommend what? Chicken, white meat, and tofu and fish. So 1/4 of the plate should be your lean protein.
That's one of them. It doesn't have to be 3, all of them. There's either one of them would be good, right?
Okay. Yeah. So either you go with fish, or you go with chicken, or you go with tofu. But it should be 1/4, a quarter of the plate. And the rest of the quarter is where you have your carbohydrates and your healthy fats. So the healthy fat or oils will include avocado, quinoa, and sweet potato, or if you like rice or anything. But we are talking about not the processed foods, right? The healthy carbohydrates will be a quarter of your plate.
And that's actually also to be mixed with, more grains, So you have your healthy carbohydrates with grains, whatever source of carbohydrates, including grains, would be good. So those are the healthy carbohydrates. And
I thought the grains will be part of the 50%, though, right?
Yes, the greens will be part of 50%. I'm talking about the complex carbohydrates, sources. I know you mentioned the quinoa, right?
Right.
The quinoa, but if you don't have quinoa where you are, any healthy grain would suffice for the complex carbohydrates. And for healthy fats, you mentioned avocado, but you could also use olive oil. You could use avocado oil. You could use fatty fish oil. Any of the healthy fats that you use, to make sure that you get the balance. So that is the plate for you, and there's a reason for that, right? But let's make sure we capture them all. So half of the plate is greens and veggies, healthy, non-starchy greens and veggies,
Right.
and then a quarter It's what? Your protein.
Lean protein.
Your lean protein.
So not any protein,
but
right?
the lean protein. Thank you for reminding me. Because some people will be like, hey, protein is protein, right? But it's got to be the lean protein without the fatty streaks. So if you're going to use red meat, fine. Just make sure it's not the one with all those white fats in there. Lean protein. And then the other quarter is what she also said. So basically, you divide your plate into three, half for veggies, non-starchy veggies, and then the quarter and quarter for proteins and the other stuff that we mentioned, the carbohydrates and the fats and oils. So the reason we want to talk about why.
Yeah, so the reason being that it's because you are having this balanced diet, it's likely that you are going to have low glucose release and spikes. So it's going to be released slowly because your plate is full of fibers, healthy fat, and complex carbohydrates. It's not a refined form. So it's not just going to be dumped into your system and spike your blood sugar. So it's going to be released slowly throughout the day. And that will prevent the crashes that we are talking about. And you maintain your energy throughout the day because you have had a healthy lunch for that day.
Perfect. Now, let's go to the next tweak to your lunches, right? The next one I would start is to ditch sugary dressings. And by sugary dressings, those of you who are fond of salads, you may say that, oh, but the salad is good. Yes, we encourage you to eat salads. But a little tweak to your salad to, make sure your blood sugars don't go up is to ditch the sugary dressings. And I should potentially say all the fatty, a lot of fat, some dressings may not be sweet, but the oils may be too much. So if you can ditch those ones, then you are tweaking your salad to make it even better. So that is the way to go. And how you do it is to swap, your regular dressings, which are sugary or which are so sweet, with dressings that are less sugary. We have olive oil plus lemon juice. You could do it your own way, or you want to add the other one?
Yeah, or you can do the tahini, which is a healthy antioxidant that are sold in a lot of places. So if you just want to go and look into it, you can buy this tahini, then you add apple cider vinegar, then you mix it to it. It has a lot of good protein, good mineral, good vitamins that can help tweak your salad because you are going for half a plate, to be the salad. If you're not careful and you're pouring all these sugar on top of it, then you're diffusing the peppers. It's going to spike your blood sugar because in your mind you're thinking that you are eating right because you are eating the greens. But what kind of salad do you put on?
What kind of dressing?
What kind of salad dressing do you put on? So to be on the safer side, you have to get your own healthy one at home. So because when they have these nice labels on the bottle, salad dressings, because you didn't do it, if you don't pay attention, you may miss some of the ingredients that has been used to make it. So if you look at the ingredients listed, you could see that they've had a hidden fructose somewhere, the syrup somewhere, the sugar something. So they hid some ingredients in there that if you don't pay attention can spike your blood sugar. So to be on the safer side, you can do it yourself. You just put few things together, the olive oil and a little bit of other ingredients. You mix it. Some people make healthy ones. So you know what's in there. So when you put on your salad, you know that nothing is going to take you by surprise and there is not going to be a sugar spike because you know the ingredients that is in the salad.
Definitely. And those who are going to do the tahini plus apple cider vinegar, we did a video about apple cider vinegar for blood sugar control. If you want to watch that, you can go back on our channel and look for it. But it's important that it's showed up here for your salad as a dressing. If you use apple cider vinegar with tahini, then you're obviously making use of the apple cider vinegar, which has a lot of noise about it. Some people drinking it all the time. So that would be one way to use it. And the reason why you do it, as she said, is that it helps you avoid the sugars that can easily spike your blood sugar level. Like she said, if you're doing a half of your plate a salad, but your dressing is wrong, guess what? You're going to spike your sugars regardless. Even though it's not going to be as much because the fibers in the salad, but any little change is going to be helpful for you if you are really conscious about doing, watching your blood sugar levels. So that is that one. Now let's go to the next or the third one, which is third way to tweak your lunches.
Yeah. So the third one is to avoid snaky carbs. So we're trying to encourage ourselves to avoid the refined carbohydrates. Like the white bread, the pasta, and the sugary snacks. Those are the things that you want to avoid as much as possible on your plate. So if you are able to avoid the refined carbohydrates, that is likely that you are going to get away from not spiking your blood sugar. So what are some of the white things around that can spike your blood sugar? We have
you mentioned a few. You said white bread, which is very common.
Right. And the sugary snacks. Sometimes you eat your lunch and you're like, oh, let me top it with something sweet. Okay. So if you do that, if you do that, you've had your good lunch, all right. But because you just want to top it with something sugary, you're going to spike your blood sugar. So let's try as much as possible to avoid stuff like that.
Definitely. Let's try and avoid refined carbohydrates. It defeats the purpose. You say you want to eat healthy and you are eating all refined carbs, like we have said. And I would even include white rice also in this column. I cannot tell you not to eat rice, but, if you can eat the non-polished or non-perfumed rice, you are probably better off. And as we go forward, like we said, we're going to show you some pictures of some, lunches that people have, and we are going to critique them along with you. So stay put with us, and we'll get to that so that you know in practice what we are actually also referring to. All right, so that is that one. Now,
yeah, before you go on, sometimes when you go out to eat, like before the real meal comes, they bring the sweet bread,
right?
the hot bread and all that extras. So maybe when you were going, you planned to eat healthy, but they will bring a basket full of bread that looks so good with a little butter on the side, right? So if you're diabetic, you have to, after you've eaten your greens, they will bring the bread. You have to try and minimize it or try to stay away from it. That will be something that may be sneaky. You'll be like, oh, I'm going to eat healthy. But throwing in a little bit of bread here and there.
That's actually very common too.
Yes, wherever you go.
Wherever you go. And there's a particular restaurant I'm not going to mention because I really like that restaurant. And the funny thing is I like it not just for the meals they give.
But the bread.
But for the bread they give. Come on, man. Yeah. Why? Because that bread is soft. It's right off the oven. It's soft. And it's it is very how I'm saying. Come on, guys! I know you got my point. You it's soft. You pull it apart and very very warm to the touch, and it's good.
You put the butter in and it melts.
And they give you the butter
right?
too. And the sad thing is, no matter how many times you ask, they'll give it to you. Something that is not good, it is free. It's like on the house. They will give it to you if you continue to ask. Or some people even do shrimps, fried shrimp right there as an appetizer with all the sugars and all the other stuff. I'm not saying don't do it. As you do it, you become careful. So, for somebody who is blood sugar conscious, you would probably still get the bread because, you went out, you want to get a whole treat. But then how many are you going to eat? You just eat one or maybe less so that it doesn't take over the whole meal and spike up your sugars. And hopefully, if you're doing that bread, you will remember also to take a bowl of salad just to make sure that you don't get it all absorbed. But if you're not going to do that and then you're also going to go for, you're going to eat the bread, a lot of them, and then also go for starchy lunch. That is so bad.
Right. Definitely spike your blood sugar.
That's very important. This is really, really common. I've been to different restaurants, and I remember at least two that serve you free bread. And I like one of them because their bread is like kind of like a wheat bread, but it's really, like I'm saying, warm to the touch, very good, and it can trick you. Again, we are tweaking our lunches.
Right.
It can trick you into eating a lot, forgetting that your blood sugars may be going up with that.
Yeah. So what can you do differently? You have to go for the low glycemic carbohydrates. You have to pick the ones that are healthier over the ones that are refined and can spike your blood sugar. I think we've said this over and over. You go with the whole grain wraps. If you want to go get wrap, if you have to buy something quick on the run, you have to be consciously select the ones that are whole grain or the healthy ones with low glycemic index so that you don't spike your blood sugar. In place of your pasta and your rice, you can do the quinoa, right? Which should be tried again, and I don't know. It tastes good.
It didn't taste good the first time, but I think
the second time, yeah. And also lentils, lentils are also grainy, and it has that feel of eating rice. So in place of that, you can do that, and that would help control your blood sugar one way or the other. The whole grain wraps, I haven't tried it yet. Like something that I'll
got some for you before you forgot.
That was whole grain.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, that is how you basically make it for you. And the reason again is that refined carbohydrates, they break down too quickly. When you eat anything of a refined nature, what you do is you are breaking down your carbohydrates so quick, and it all goes into your bloodstream and spike your blood sugars. And so that is the whole point. It's not like we don't want you to eat it. You can eat it, but the point is, are you concerned about your blood sugars? If you have a family history of diabetes, or you yourself, they told you that you're on the borderline, some of the things you can do is to cut back on the refined sugars so that you don't get yourself in trouble. Now we can go to the fourth tweaking to your lunch before we show you the examples of lunches that we have here. And the fourth one is to time your lunch right. And that's very, very important. Very, very, very important. Right? Yeah. And it's because some people eat anytime. For some people, they have their breakfast at 8 and their lunch at 9. Come on, man. By the way, if you're watching, I see some people on TikTok are giving us the loves. I wanted to mention earlier, give us the hearts, Facebook, the thumbs up, YouTube, YouTube, the subscribe, the thumbs up, wherever you're watching from, give us a thumbs up and share so that we can reach.
And bring your comments too.
Bring your comments so we can reach more people also. All right, so yeah, timing of your lunches can make a lot of difference. I said that you can't eat your lunch 1 hour after your breakfast. It doesn't work.
Maybe you had a healthy breakfast, so you decide to just go for the lunch
earlier.
Yeah, because you were not full.
Oh my goodness. Well, 1 hour is too close.
Too close, for sure.
And similarly, 6 hours from breakfast is also too far away. And so the sweet spot is between 4 to 5 hours after breakfast. That is when you should be having your lunch. Because by that time, you would have given your body enough time, to break down the breakfast and, take care of all the things that you need to do with it. And then you go for your lunch between 4 to 5 hours. And that is where we should be going, right?
Yeah. And so like if you eat your breakfast at 9, then your lunch should be around 1, between 1 and 2, right? So that you space it out. You give your body enough time to process what you've eaten already. Unless that you're doing intermittent fasting, right? Then you wouldn't break your fast. You can say that you eat your breakfast, in between you are going to fast and break it again. So that wouldn't fit well for intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is like you've not eaten the whole night, then you wake up, you don't eat till 12 o'clock, then you eat, you break your fast. That'll be your breakfast. for the day, right? But if you eat your breakfast and you have to eat your next meal, it should be between 4 to 5 hours apart. Okay. So the reason why you have to do that is so you want to avoid overeating and spiking later, because you've starved yourself for so long and you feel so hungry. The chance of overeating, the likelihood that you overeat is very high. So you don't want to space it too much that when you see food, you don't even think, you just start bunking things in. So that's the way to avoid overeating, by timing your lunch or your dinner right.
And the other thing is it also helps stabilize your blood sugars. If you are eating, 4 to 5 hours after your breakfast, that's just before your sugar drops too low, you eat your lunch. And so throughout the day, you have stable blood sugars. Rather than to wait till 6 or 3, your sugars will go too low. And then when you eat, your body is beginning to store because it thinks that the next time it's going to get food is long time. But once you eat consistently around that time, your sugars becomes stable. And the stable sugar in the day is what you want. You don't want to be going up and then going down, crashes and all that. So that is what I think. And it's important though to skip lunch unless, as she said, you are doing intermittent fasting. Some people will eat breakfast and they won't eat again until dinner. So they eat twice a day. If that is what you're doing as do intermittent fasting, that is different. But we're talking about somebody who eats breakfast, lunch, and potentially dinner, right?
Yeah.
You have to make sure that it is consistent that way. And even that, I would think that it is better to do the intermittent fasting when you don't eat early, like she said. Delay your breakfast and then eat your next meal, and then the next meal 4 to 5 hours apart.
Yeah, so if you break your fast, then you try to stabilize your blood sugar level throughout the day. And the way to stabilize your blood sugar is to try and eat something every 4 to 5 hours so that you are stabilized throughout the day. That prevents you from going to a point that you are so hungry that you want to eat everything, So as soon as you break your fast, you try to stage it in such a way that every 4 to 6 hours, even if it's not a real meal, you try to eat something healthy. Your healthy snack can be eaten so that at least throughout the day your blood sugar is stabilized, and that will avoid the crashes throughout the day for sure.
Definitely. All right, so let's move on to the last way you can tweak your your lunch, and then we'll go to the examples that we have. I can't wait for those examples because those are things that people do, and we want to be able to critique them. So yeah, let's move on to that one. So the last point for tweaking your lunch to make it healthier so that you can kill your blood sugars, make them normal, is to choose the right drink. Oh, come on, man. Choose the right drink. Choose the right drink. It's very important. And I know you know where I'm going with this, right? No sugary drinks. No sugary drinks. No soda. No fruit juices. You thought that, well, what about juice? I would say no fruit juices. What I would say is that whatever juice you used to eat or you've been eating, you've been drinking, if you've been drinking apple juice, you should buy apples and chew apple fruits. If you were drinking orange juice, you should potentially get orange fruit and eat orange fruit whole rather than to buy the concentrated juices, because those are high in fructose and they are going to definitely spike your blood sugar. They have been concentrated together, but if you eat the fruit whole, you are eating all the fiber in there. They are actually going to help slow the absorption of the sugars in them so that your blood sugars don't spike. So definitely avoid sugary drinks, what we call here in the US as soda. In other places they call them minerals.
Fanta.
In the other places they have all those other names that you have. As long as a sugary drink, we are begging you to put them aside so that your lunch will be healthier. You can replace those. You can replace those. What do you think for the replacement?
So that's a good point. So like maybe if you need something sweet, whilst you're eating your lunch, like you're talking about apple or orange as a side. So you have your meal, you have the 50% green, you have the lean protein, you have the carbohydrates and the healthy fat. You have your apple on the side. So the apple will be part of the greens. So because you're doing apple, maybe your 50% can be reduced to 25%. Then you add your apple or you add your orange. So that when you're done, you are going to do your water as your drink for the day, because people will be like, after eating this healthy food, why I have to wash it down with something? No. And the people will wash it down with the real sugary drink.
Oh, come on, man. Don't wash anything down. Don't wash anything down with sugar. You're actually making it dirty with sugar, right? And so that's why we have this here. It's a recovering sugar addict. For those who can't see it, it's a recovering sugar addict. Yes, we are all at one point, or we were all at one point addicted to sugar. And addiction to sugar is no joke. We only talk about drugs, but sugar is a drug, as a matter of fact. So
Yes.
If you want to recover, you start from stopping those drinks. Stop those drinks. It is possible, and you may have to take it slowly. Because some people can just stop one day, but if you are determined, you can start. And you can replace those with water.
Right.
Here, this is a water that I fill this with, and once the water is next to you, anywhere you are, if you are thirsty, the first thing you reach out for is your bottle of water. And once you start doing that, soon your mind will just forget about the sweet drinks that you used to drink, so that you can have a better lunch.
Apart from water, you can also do the herbal tea. The tea has a lot of antioxidants. So instead of reaching up for water after your meal, you can do tea.
Do tea.
You can do tea, or you can do the unsweetened sparkling water. Some people love the soda because of the sparkling or the fizz, and that in the bottle. They don't really necessarily like the soda per se, but because of the fizz or whatever is in there that helps, you can do sparkling water.
Combination.
So you get the sparkling water, you wash it down with it, and you are okay. You are not spiking any sugar at all. Surprisingly, some people will go around carrying these sodas in their bags. That when they're hungry, they're thirsty, that's the first thing that they reach out for. So what we are encouraging is to replace the soda, just get a bottle of water, water bottle, not just and have it filled with water, and you have it with you all the time. When you order food, you just order just the meal, and you have your water. If you don't want to spend money on the water that is sold, which is expensive, you feel like, oh, if I'm buying, then why don't I buy soda? Because water is cheap.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Some people say, if I'm buying, why should I buy water?
Right.
Then I might as well buy soda or mineral
and wash it down with. But we're encouraging you, in order not to spike your sugar, you have to go for water, sparkling water, or herbal tea.
And the reason we're not just making this up, the reason is that when you drink all these sodas and minerals and all those that we know of, the sugars in them are not just sugar, they are liquid sugars. And when liquid sugar hits the stomach, the body knows how to pick it up so fast. It goes in your blood as easy as possible, because they don't have to break anything. As if bam, 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 it's in the blood already.
It's in its simple form.
Simple. Right? It's just going so quickly into your blood. And so that's the whole point of not drinking, juices and sodas if you are having your lunch. Replace it, like she said, if you're not, some people can't drink water. I don't understand though. But if you are the one that cannot taste water, you can't do with water, all right, do that sparkling water. The face, like she said, is going to help you trick your brain into thinking that you're drinking soda, Coca-Cola or whatever it is, but then it will be something else, which is healthier. So that is the thing right there. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, we good.
All right, so those are the 5. Now let's get a bonus tip. A bonus tip is that add a post-lunch walk to your lunches. Oh, come on, man. After that nice lunch, which we hope you're going to have because of these little tweaks here and there, after that lunch, take a walk. Take a walk.
You're going to burn everything off, though.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
You need the energy to.
Not everything. Some will be left. You still have some energy remaining. So take a walk, a 10 to 15-minute walk after your lunch, and that is going to actually make a lot of difference. 10 to 15 minutes. Just take a 10 to 15-minute walk after your lunch. After you do all those tweaks, and I tell you, your blood sugars are going to become super good. If you are diabetic, do it and let us know later on how you are faring. If you are doing all those little tweaks and then you add 10 to 15-minute walk after your lunches, or as well, not just for your lunch, but even your dinners or your breakfast, whichever one you have time for, make sure that you add those because those are going to make a lot of difference. That is going to make a lot of difference. So
why are we saying that? This help muscle absorb the glucose that you are releasing into your bloodstream because you are now doing activity, So this will reduce your post-meal spikes because after you've eaten, you decide to take a walk. Just 10 to 15. It's not like 30 minutes or 45 minutes walk. Just a walk around. Maybe you went out to eat together as a family. After that, have an activity, Then everybody will eat and straight to bed. Then you're going to absorb all the sugar and the sugar is going to linger around. But if you make a lot of exercise, a lot of movement, that would definitely regulate your blood sugar. And that meal spike is not going to happen for sure.
The meal spike is going to happen for sure. Yes. Because you are working and using that energy. Definite. So now let's actually go to the part that I feel is very interesting. All the parts are interesting. But for now, let's move on to that part so that I still want to show my thing in there. Let me put it close to the middle. So if you are addicted to sugar, you know how to go against it. All right. So now we're going to show you how some lunches are not good and what you can probably do. As a matter of fact, if you're watching, we want you to put it in the chat or in the comment section. What do you think is wrong or good about the lunch that we are going to show you? And then we will also discuss it. We may miss some of them because we don't have time to say everything. But whether you're watching live or you watch later, put it in the chat. We will see it. What do you think about the following lunch that we have? So, you ready to go? So, yes, the first one is, come on, man, the standard American diet. My. We have 3 pictures showing on the screen right now. And those on TikTok you can't see, so we're going to call them out so you can tell. We are showing a picture of pizza, cheesy, very cheesy pizza. A picture of a big jar of, I should say, one of those dark drinks, cola drinks, whatever, whether it's Pepsi or Coca-Cola or whatever it is. And then a picture of which one that I see commonly, I would call it chicken wings, but these are like chicken thighs, right? Fried up also, right? And so this is a standard diet that we in the US see a lot. In fact, we eat them all the time. And most people, because of the convenience, you just order it, you deliver it, and there you go. Wash your hands. Sometimes you don't even have to wash your hands. With this pizza, you just hold onto the crust, and there you go. Your lunch is done. But is this something that we want to keep doing? Based on what we have learned so far, the tweaks that you can do to your lunches, I don't think so. So what do you have to say on any of these?
So let's say that we have pizza and we have the drink on the side, right? If you look at this pizza, maybe one person, maybe it's for 2 people, 3 people to share, and you get 2 slides, right? So you can see that there, if you put that on your plate, and maybe you have your drink on the side, and you have maybe 3 or 4 chicken with it, you can say that the 50% of the grains
that rule is
missing.
Broken. Come on, man, that rule is broken right here. You don't see any of those right there.
You don't see any 50% of green on here.
50% of the plate being
you
green.
see tomatoes, all right. But
those are just one you can count the pieces of tomato slices on that pizza. And most people don't even like their pizzas with veggies on top.
They would take those off for sure, especially the kids, right?
Yeah.
And so the 50% is missing, and the 2 slides will fill almost the whole plate. So the carbohydrates part has been exceeded from 25% to 100% now. The healthy fats, we see the cheese dripping down, right? So that's almost like 50% of non-healthy fat. And that. We don't see any
no
lean meat
no
on
protein.
here. Protein, maybe it's in the cheese.
Or the chicken. Yeah, you get some protein from the cheese,
yes,
the milk, and then the chicken too, right?
Yeah, and the chicken, we have it fried. So you can see that it being fried take the healthy part out of it altogether. So if maybe it was grilled, maybe you can say that your part of protein has been met. But this one is fried.
Fried chicken.
So that is also good. And on the side, we have liquid sugar. So you're going to wash it down with this drink. And all put together, definitely you're going to spike your blood sugar.
My goodness. And these are foods that we call almost completely all processed. The pizza, it's a processed food. You know, the drink is a processed drink. Even the chicken, though you can say that chicken is real, you know, it's not been processed, but it's been processed due to the frying. All those salts and all those flavors that they added to it before the frying has also made it over processed. And this is a standard diet that a lot of people have in our day. We are not making this up. Here in the US, we see it all the time. It's convenient, trust me, very convenient. You order it and they bring it to you. You don't need to cook it. You don't need to bring any lunch to work. It's right there. You know, the delivery service guys will bring it, and you know, you make for a good lunch as far as your taste buds are concerned. But if you do this over and over again, you're going to end up with trouble. You know, a lot of issues, not just blood sugar going up, but these are full of salt. Your blood pressure is going to go up. All these 3 things we see on the screen, the soda or the mineral, the pizza itself, as well as the fried chicken, all 3 will raise your blood sugar and raise your blood pressure eventually. And so this is not something you want to be doing all the time. I mean, once a while, if like a party at work and they have served it, I mean, it's okay.
Right.
But for you to make it your daily lunch or maybe every other day lunch, that's what we are talking about. So I mean, I've had this at work when we have, you know, all of us sharing together. One slice, that's fine.
Yep.
You know, but to have a couple of people eating a whole box of pizza, or doing it every day because of the convenience, that is where the problem starts.
And sometimes with the chicken too, it comes sweetened. You know, the sauce that they put on, it's all sugar. On the chicken too. So if you want to tweak this, maybe you go out or you are at work and they order pizza and all that. Maybe the best that you can do is just go for only 1 slice.
Yes.
Just one. And instead of drinking the soda or the drink, you just go with water, you know? And the chicken, maybe if you just want to eat chicken, maybe you can take the skin out, you know? So for me, I would just get chicken and get water. And the chicken, I'll try to peel the skin out just to reduce the amount of calories and the amount of fat in there. So that at least you are part of the party. You don't feel like, oh, this person is always so
weird, you know,
they don't entertain, they don't, you know. So in order to be part of the party, just pick things that will minimize the amount of sugar that you take in.
And sometimes when they are ordering stuff, they ask, but we are quiet. If you know the healthy stuff, but you are quiet because everybody wants this. No, say what you want to, so that even if they don't buy it, at least you have told them that that's also an option.
Maybe grilled chicken, right?
Yeah, instead of maybe fried. But the pizza places, they don't grill the chicken. They fry them, trust me. They just fry it. Yes. All right, so let's go to the next one, right? Unless you want... Okay, so the next food that we also want to talk about, another standard American diet. So come on, man, this looks good on the screen. This on TikTok, if you want to join us also on YouTube, at DROTENG. You can see all these pictures we're showing. But I'm going to describe it for you. We have fried chicken. This looks so good, trust me. That's why I don't usually want to see him, because if you see him, you'll be tempted.
You want to eat it.
Fried chicken drums. Those of you who know chicken drums, right? Fried with all those crispiness on it, on a bowl of on a plate. And then the other one is a very juicy burger. This is what we call maybe this is not double cheese. This is just one cheese or double meat. This is one meat, and yet the meat is really thick.
Imagine you do double. Right?
Yes. And then we got the cheese melting down from the burger. And then the last one is fries, fried potato and fried chicken. Fried fish. So this is what we call fish and fish and fries.
Chips, yeah.
Fish and fries. When you order, that's what they call it, fish and fries. Yeah. This is another one that we think. Well, what do you think? I don't want to.
Yeah. So I think the chicken. So if this is your meal, come on. Sometimes it comes with, a little salad, a little coleslaw, a little things on the side when you order too. So if you order from, I don't want to mention name, but, fried chicken, they add other things. But mostly it's likely that they are going to add extra bread, that refined white bread.
Biscuits.
Biscuits.
Oh, come on,
right,
man. Those biscuits with all those salt. Biscuits with it.
Biscuits, and you have the coleslaw, and you could see that the coleslaw is all mixed with extra sugar, because of the way that they make it. So maybe you think that you have your greens and your carbohydrates and your protein, but you can see that there is no green here, and the coleslaw is like anything green
nothing
on there.
Yeah,
it's mixed with sugar and all that. So the 50% parts, is out. And the chicken is so much. It's supposed to be 25% of the plate. And now it's the whole 4 or 6 chicken drums. So that also has failed the test, right? And if you have the biscuits,
salts too. There's a lot of salt also.
Yes, and if you have the biscuits, then the carbohydrate is also exceeded. So you are getting too much calories after consuming this, that your body definitely cannot handle it all. It's definitely going to store it up because you have excess. So portion size, the ingredients, the contents, everything is off. So it's something that you have to think about when you start eating stuff like that.
Definitely. Portion size and the nature of the food itself. Even though there's protein in a burger, it's still not the best. Look at the amount of leaves in there. It's like they're just tricking you to think that, you got some leaves. Very, very minimal. Like
definitely
you buy
it's not
this
50%.
Salad. You put one leaf of salad, big enough salad, one, and you think that you got some leaves in there. It's not enough. Because remember...
Sometimes they add tomatoes too, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tomatoes and leaves, if we ask for them. But remember, we need 50% of the entire meal to be leaves. And, this is definitely not going to be enough. And then the fish and fries too, there's also a lot of salt on the fish too. Even though you got your protein from the fish, there's a lot of salt. So that is not the best diet for lunch. For anybody who is concerned with their blood sugar or with their blood pressure. They go hand in hand because the salt here and the fats here are both going to increase your sugars and, of course, your blood pressure. So that is that. You want to go to the next one? So the next food, this one is another one from a lot of places that I know here. This will be like the standard immigrant diet, I should say. Africans, Jamaicans, where else? Indians, I should say Asians, Caribbean. This will be, you may find this some way, somehow in your diet. For lunch, and let's critique them. What do you think about the first one, the rice?
So the first one, I can see a little bit of...
Actually, before we go, let me describe it for people who don't see that on TikTok. So we have a bowl of what we call fried rice, little pieces of green mixed. And then the second one is a bowl of what we call banku or swallow or dough with another plate of stew or sauce next to it. And then the last picture, we have a bowl of what we call fufu, 2 big slices with 3 pieces of meat and a rich sauce of soup on it. So that's what we are critiquing now. So what do you say? Yes.
Yeah, so with the rice, I think I see greens on there, all right. So, but like we said, the green should be 50% of the plate. So that green, there are greens in there, but it's too
This is scanty
little.
green. This is like poke.
It make the food look appetizing, all right.
This
right?
is just decorative.
It's just
green.
decorating it. So it's not really serving the purpose. Like it's serving part of it, but you need more of greens on this plate. You know. Then the portion size is supposed to be a quarter of the plate. But it's filling the whole plate. So if you take all the greens out, it's still filling the whole plate.
No, the greens are nothing. Come on, man. This is no green. This is no green. There's barely any green in this.
Okay. And also with protein, it's supposed to be 25%. So sometimes we add a little bit of shrimps or a little bit of chicken. We cut it into pieces and mix it with the rice.
You're talking about the fried rice.
The fried rice. Yeah. So cutting the little pieces and, mixing it, you can see that definitely it's not 25% of the plate. So all that part is lost. So you are missing a lot on the fried rice plate. If you want to talk about the second one.
Okay, so the second one, well, even with that,
the rice.
Did you mention the protein? The rice. There's no protein.
Oh no! Sometimes we cut it into pieces. You may not see it.
Okay, so you are talking from experience as a cook.
So as a cook, you cut your chicken small pieces and
shrimp
in there.
One cook in there.
It's still something.
That's no way. It's 25%. It's no way close. At least the picture, I don't see any meat at all. I don't see any protein.
It's mixed in there.
Okay, if you say so.
Most people do use a little protein.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and maybe if they use the good oil, maybe they use the olive oil, that would be a plus. But sometimes we also go for not so good oil, then that can be also a problem. Yeah.
Definitely. But my key thing is portion size again, and the fact that the protein is not enough. If, like you're saying, if it's 20%, 25% of the entire meal, so basically dividing this into 4, and
a
quarter is one of them is what your carbohydrate is, then I would make it suffice. But this is definitely plain rice. That little piece of green here and there, I think is a scam. It's a scam right there. So those of you who like fried rice, be intentional about making sure that you have enough chicken, skinless chicken, or whatever protein you use. If it's fish, there's enough meat in there. Healthy meat, of course, not fatty meat. And then the rice is less, so that, and then of course you throw on top or next to it the half of the plate being your veggies: broccoli, spinach, kale, zucchini, or whatever form of green that you can do. All right, let's go to the next picture. The next picture, we have the banku or the fufu. No, that's not the fufu. Banku or the kenke, right? It could be kenke or the swallow, however you call it in other places. So in this one, I think also the portion size is too big. The banku could serve 2 at least. I mean, definitely 2, but
2/3.
Yeah, it's more than 2/3 of the entire plate. You could do half of this, or even a quarter would be fine, especially if you have a huge bowl of sauce, which is, I can tell this sauce has a lot of egg, which has the protein in there, so that sauce will be all right, and then your carbohydrate, if it was cut down, is what I would think. What do you think?
Do you still add more greens to this?
The bowl seems to have a lot of greens.
Yeah,
it's the greens mixed with eggs, right? And the healthy oil,
right?
Hopefully. Is in the and it even seems to also show some kind of a meat in there. So it's both egg and meat. There may be too much protein, but at least we are more concerned now with the starches. The starches. So if we can cut back on the swallow, on the banku, or the kenke itself, get about half or a quarter of this, then it will make for a better a diet for lunch. What do you think?
Yeah, so if we take the bowl where we have the sauce in the as the bowl or the plates that we are dividing. So can we say that the sauce is kind of too much too? Then we can take a quarter of that portion out, then cut the bangkun into four and put the quarter there to fit it. Then we can say that maybe that could be a balanced diet.
Yeah, that could also be. If you feel like the sauce is a lot, then yes. If the sauce which has the protein in it is too much, then yes, especially not seeing a lot of green in it. So that would be definitely one thing you can do. Yeah, I agree.
And even with the top one, you can say that jollof rice.
Yes.
Because sometimes we eat a lot of jollof, that special
So
meal
fried
that
rice
is made
and
in
jollof rice, almost the same
Ghana.
thing, right?
Yeah, so in Nigeria. So the jollof rice is such that you have to go with the same rule. You know, sometimes the quarter may be too small because you need more to fill you up. But we are all trying to cut down not to spice the blood sugar. So that can be in place of the fried rice. Just think about jollof rice too. It should meet the same standard.
Same standard, or wache for that matter.
And wache too.
Okay, so all the kinds of rice. We know all these kinds, but if you know any kinds of rice you cook, depending on where you know where you are from, you may have different names for it. But so far as it's rice, this same thing applies, no matter how you call it. Making sure that your portion size is good, and it is not filling your entire plate. It's just a quarter of your plate. So that is that. That is that. Yes. So now let's go to the third picture on the screen.
Yeah, with the third picture, I think portion size.
To discuss it again, is the fufu. 2 big balls of fufu with the line in between, those you know, and then the soup and the meat. Okay, go ahead.
So I think we have too much of the carbohydrates on here. The carbohydrates is filling the whole plate. It should be a quarter of the bowl. So we have to cut it, take one off. One should be cut into half, so a quarter of this should be appropriate.
So basically, take one full ball out, and then the other half that is left, take a quarter.
So that is quarter of a plate. And the meat, I think, it may be okay because maybe too much. So that should be a quarter too. And this, if you want to eat it, the soup is all right to eat with it because you need the soup to eat the fufu. So I don't see any green here. So on the
no
side,
green. Come on, man, no green. No appearance of green at all. I don't see any green, not even a hint. Like
okay, so what about if you use the green to make the soup?
The contomere soup or spinach soup,
right?
Then you got a green, but this green, this soup has no green. And the thing is, for you to get half of your plate as green, this is serious, you know. And it's not easy. It's not like we make every diet like that. It's not easy. We are all trying to change for the best, but it takes a gradual and intentional. That's the key. Intentional, steps to do it. Because, I mean, if you are really going to eat this food like we are showing here, and we say that you need half of your plate to be greens, you can see that you have failed Potol, like we say. Yeah. You have failed so much. So how do we do it? We have to start thinking about, okay, if I'm going to eat my fufu or if I'm going to eat my swallow, I better start off with a bowl of salad or with at least a half bowl of salad. Once you finish the salad, then you eat your quarter size fufu, which we are showing here. Then
with your meat.
With your meat and your protein. I mean, it's good. You're still eating your cake and having it. You're still eating your fufu, all right. We're not saying don't eat fufu, don't eat fufu. No, you are eating fufu, but you're eating a smaller portion of it. You're still getting your taste for your soup, however good your soup is. However, some people make fufu so good that they can't avoid it, and we understand. You can eat your fufu.
So you're talking about fufu being lunch?
Yeah. Oh, come on, man. I know people who eat for breakfast, lunch, even breakfast, which is kind of cute, right? Heavy meal like this for breakfast, but some people do. If you want it for lunch or for dinner, for that matter, make sure it is small, small size, and even before you start it, you eat your salad. Eat your salad first to sit up make your stomach ready for the starch that is going to come, and then when you eat your little bit of your fufu on there. you are not going to be as bad as somebody who eats the fufu plain with this, little tomato sauce that we make and call soup, all watery. You barely get any veggies from that, because it's a little. And I think you also say about it being overcooked. The soup that we make is overcooked all the time. So your fufu is basically you're just eating plain starch. Plain starch if you don't eat your salad first. So I'm hoping that I can convince some people to start eating their fufu, but after they have eaten a bowl of salad. And that's I'm challenging myself to do that. If I ever eat fufu, I'm gonna start off with a bowl of salad. Then after that, you do a small portion, not a giant portion like we are showing. Small portion of fufu, and top of that, and your meat or your chicken or your fish that goes with it, so that it makes for your blood sugar to be stable. Because remember, with that amount of salad or greens or fiber, all your fufu is going to dump sugars into your blood, and that's what we want to avoid, right?
Yeah.
Because you are recovering sugar addict like we are. We are recovering from being addicted to sugar. So we are going to trick our bodies into saying, hey, you still want to eat fufu, we're going to give you fufu, but you're not going to get a whole bowl of fufu. You're just going to get a little trimmed fufu. And I wanted to say something earlier. We were saying that your portion sizes are important. Some people don't feel like you can. And the trick is when you eat your small amount, if you're hungry, it means that your body has used it well. You can eat another small amount. So
within 4 to 6
within
hours.
The 4 to 6 hours. So if
4 to 5 hours.
4 to 5 hours. Maybe you had lunch, and your lunch, because you are watching us, instead of a whole bowl of rice, now your rice was like this. You had a huge size chicken with it, and your salad with it, and a healthy fats, with it. Olive oil was one that was used, and which I don't think will happen, because if you eat your salad with it, you're not going to be hungry quick. But if for any reason, because you're starting afresh, when you start something, it's hard. Your taste buds are like, you're hungry. Go again and do another small size with all those other ingredients, and you still be healthier. That we then to sit in one spot and consume a bowl full of rice, no salad, because that's how your stomach will tell you that you are full. That is recipe for disaster. So that's the trick. Eat a smaller amount. If you're hungry within hours and you want to eat again, even if the same food, you feel like you were not satisfied, eat the same food again, but another smaller amount, so that the sugars don't dump one time into your blood. You want to trick your body into processing the sugars, the carbohydrates slowly, and making sure that they are not all released into your blood. But if you are disciplined enough to stick with a smaller amount, your body will just adjust to it. Trust me, it will adjust. Your stomach, if it was as big as a big pan, once you start reducing the sizes, your stomach will shrink, and soon you won't need to eat bigger portions. Right? Anything to add?
Yeah, so I was talking about training your stomach because you've eaten so much carbohydrates or tried to fill your stomach at every sitting. Your stomach has expanded to the point that if you eat little, you know for sure that you're not full, because of the way that you've trained yourself. Because you're always busy, and when you come one set, you want to eat everything, and after that you starve yourself throughout the day. Because sometimes you talk to people and they say, I don't eat anything. I just eat one time. But when you sit to eat, what's the portion size? So you've trained the stomach to the point that it has expanded so much that every little thing do not fill you up. So whenever you sit, you have to fill your stomach, and that's the problem. So as you slowly, like you're saying, right, eat, it just starts shrink. You're training yourself. It shrinks to a point that when you eat just a little, you feel full. But it doesn't happen right away. You have to be intentional and consciously try to train your stomach back to smaller size.
And the other thing is that when you start and it's difficult, instead of filling it up with the starch, you could fill it up with the greens. That's why you say a half plate being greens. So if you are not full and your body tells you, this food wasn't enough, go for the greens. go for the veggies again. Don't eat the starches. Let the greens fill you instead.
Right.
Because every filling is filling.
Right.
Like we say in our language, right? Pintin biadame. Every filling is filling. But you don't want to use the wrong filling for your stomach. So what you want to do is to use the right foods to fill it. If you don't feel that you are full, fill it with the greens, with the veggies, with the broccolis. They will fill you up quick. Especially broccoli, zucchini, and those, very massive greens. They will fill you up.
And you top it with water.
Top it with water, and it will swell up in your belly, and you will be full. So that is how to trick your body into eating smaller portions, especially with the carbohydrates. All right, so because of time, let's move on to the next picture. I think we have more to share. The next picture is this one. We're going to describe it also, which is, we got three things here. We have mashed potato with butter. I didn't see them add the butter, but I know for a fact that nobody eats mashed potato without butter.
What's the reason for mash it if you don't add anything?
You don't add butter, right? So mashed potato with butter in there. And then we have some dumplings, with some sauce. And then we have yam. I was looking for fried yam, but nobody showed a picture of fried yam. So I just showed the tubers, the real tubers of yam. But you get the idea. We are frying the yam. So what do you think about this?
Yes, so with the first one, we're back to the thought of having a half plate of greens.
Talking about the mashed potato, right?
Yeah, the mashed potato, I don't see any green on there. The second one, I see greens, but it's not half of the plate. So there is a little bit of green, all right, but I don't see any enough filling half the plate. And the yam too, I just see plain yam. People fried yam, and that's all that they will be eating. So definitely the size of greens are missing, which I think is something that is not very common, being intentional eating grains, because most of our diets, it's likely that you have a sprinkle of it. You don't have a whole lot of the grain. So it's something we have to pay attention to. And also the size, the portion size, so the portion size. The mashed potato is filling the whole plate. So if your dinner is plain mashed potato, then you are missing a lot.
Well, somebody will say it's not just mashed potato, it's with gravy. Come on, man.
Gravy.
Mashed potato and gravy.
And gravy, okay.
It's still not enough.
Yeah, it's still not enough.
Still not enough.
You're still missing your lean protein, and you're still missing your greens.
Your greens.
And your healthy fats and oils.
And then you added up saturated fat from the butter that was mixed with it. So you are adding the wrong kind of fat to the starch, which you have broken down. You didn't chew this potato. You mashed it in a blender or whatever machine to make all the hard parts broken. So now when it enters into your body, it's going to go into your blood quick. You have already started the digestion process from the outside. So when it hits your stomach is, oh, thank you. You already did a lot of my work. And the intestines are, oh, bless you. You brought everything down here already processed. I'll take them all. And they take them all and put it in your blood, and your sugars go up. But if you had eaten it by yourself, which people don't usually do, or if you had thrown in the fibers, which is the key that Gifty said, if you had half of your plate being fibers, which is your leaf, your spinach, your salads, your lettuce, your kale, whatever kind of green, your zucchinis, if you had that on the side, that will slow the absorption of all this starch into your blood. And so that is the key. We can't emphasize it enough. It's simple, but you have to be intentional, because when we go for food, they are not looking out for people who are looking to take care of your blood sugars. They are just giving you food. And food is food. Whatever is available is what is there. And especially some of us from some cultures, they just teach us to eat. If you have food, you have food. You don't go looking, where's my greens?
Where's my protein?
Where's my protein? Is my protein 25%? Is my salad half of the bowl? You don't do that. But if you have to, you have to start looking. And if you work with your partner, whoever cooks in the house, tell them, honey, we got to do this. We are growing up. We are turning 30 now. We're turning 40 now. We're turning 50. We're going 60. Oh, we're hitting over 60. We've got to do something. Even if you have not been diagnosed, just make sure, because it will eventually add up to your overall health if you're eating right. So that is that one. And I also agree with the dumpling. And much green. That's a scam. I always call this kind of green is a scam. They are tricking you into thinking that they have the greens,
just to make the food look nice.
It's just for the appearance.
Decoration,
It's not for real health, right?
Yeah.
They just throw a few greens on there and make you think that, but it's definitely not the right thing. So you need more greens than this. Well, somebody may say, what if the dumpling, if you cut it, is filled with greens? Well, I haven't cut it. So if you are going to cut your dumpling, I mean, if you're going to wrap your dumpling around some green, maybe some tofu, some broccoli, and not just red meat inside, or not just another form of starch, then of course you can probably show it like this without making us feel like there's no green. The green will be inside the dumpling, right?
And I don't know what that is fried. Was it fried,
It's fried.
or baked?
You can tell it's fried.
Yes. Yeah. So the frying part, so we can bake it instead of frying it, and maybe the inside part. Some people will add cheese and other things in there that will also not be healthy. With the yam, you can see that it's a complex carbohydrate. So that would be a better choice than going for refined carbohydrates. But how much do you eat?
How much? Oh, come on, man. How much? I like my fried yam, to be honest with you. I like my fried yam. But here again, we are all learning. Now, cut back on how many pieces of fried yam you eat. And then also precede it before you start eating your fried yam. You eat your salad. So all the women who are frying yams, make sure you have salad to go with it. Come on, man. You can't just fry yam and give the yam sometimes no protein, no fish, nothing. And sometimes the fish too will be deep fried fish on top of it. And then you give it to your hubby and say, hubby,
with
I
a
made
little pepper on the side.
With a little pepper on the side.
It tastes good though.
It tastes good, but it's not healthy. So why don't you cut back on the pieces of fried yam that you give to your husband or your wife and replace that portion with greens, with a very nice salad, very healthy salad, with olive oil on it. And maybe you even fried your yam in avocado oil instead of seed oil. Right. So everything about it becomes a whole new thing.
And your fish is baked.
In the oven.
Or air fried.
Air fried. Oh, come on, man. Another easy way to make it healthy, right?
Yeah.
Put it in an air fryer and your fish is done. Salmon or whatever fish. Tilapia. And you give it to your wife or your husband, and they will not just say thank you. They will look at it and say that, wow, what did I sleep today? Having my salad before my yam fried, and then my fish also baked. Oh, come on, girl, you did good today. Yeah, that. I think we should try that. That will look very nice, right? But usually, frequently, what we do is we just fry the yam, we get some a blended tomato sauce, and that's it. And you can see that yam after yam, the person eats all the yam.
Oh, sometimes we add sardine to it.
Sometimes you add sardine by a couple, so how many pieces of a little bit of sardine, and for the whole pepper, we got 2 pieces of sardine in there. Yeah, and that's not good. But how about if you have a whole baked tilapia for everyone? Or even not for full, at least half of a tilapia baked, stuffed with something nice.
That's 25% of the plate, right?
Yeah. And then don't forget your salad. Every time you are eating your carbs, remember, where is my green? Where is my green? If you are not eating with the green, you have gnashed already. You have failed, no matter how small it is. But if you can start it off with your green, and then you reduce the size of the carbohydrate, you have started something good. And then think about it, most people like their meat, so you're probably not going to forget that you need to add your fish or your meat to your food. Most people will remember. Just the size is what we are usually not good at. You add another quarter size of your protein to it, and you are on to a very healthy diet. Yes. And I think we got a question here from Leroy, my own man. Oh, come on, man. Let's see what this question is saying. Put it here. It says that, how long would you say it takes to train your stomach with smaller portion meals? That's a very good question. Very, very good question. Very, very good question. You want to take that, or you want me to start?
Go for it.
That's Leroy, I tell you, this is a very, very good question. It's a very good question. And I think I would say that it's going to depend on the individual, and how or where you have started from.
Right.
You know, everybody's different. If you are starting from a really big, stomach, because you have eaten a lot of large portions for a long time, it's not going to be just one day. You eat and you're all set. It's going to take a little bit of seriousness. Cutting it back down slowly and filling up with your greens. But if it's not as big and you are reducing, it will not take as long. But again, you can start off. The person that does not start is the one who is a failure. But if you start from somewhere and you are intentional about it, no matter how long it takes, it's going to happen. You just have to be disciplined, because some people may say that, it's going to take a while, and they are still eating the bigger portions. You are still keeping the thing big, so you are not training it to shrink.
Right.
So it takes how you shrink it from meal to meal. Every meal is a reduced portion. Every meal, you make sure that they say, I will use an example. So you ate yams, right? And you had 5 pieces. Using that as an example. So the next time you are eating your food, it shouldn't be the same size. Take 2 pieces out, make it 3. And then if you are hungry, add a fruit or maybe a salad to it to fill that void. The next time you're eating again, you start with the starches. So again, you reduce another 1, and then you go to 2 pieces. Before you know, you are already winning. So it has to be like a gradual, but make sure every meal after the time you make the decision is smaller than the previous one.
Okay.
That is the key.
Yeah, and also we know that the stomach is a muscle, right? It's a muscle.
It's expensive.
Yeah. So like you are trying to build muscles, you're going to go for your weight, you start with 5 pounds and you exercise and you slowly increase the weight. You're going to build muscles. Okay. So it's the same idea. I don't know the exact time that it takes for it to shrink completely, but like my husband is saying, it's all going to take time, and it depends on the individual. So think of yourself building a muscle as a guy. You have to go slow, and slowly you are increasing the weight and you are building the muscles. The same way, slowly you are reducing the amount of food that you fill your stomach, and slowly it's going to shrink. And it will get to the point that it will go to the regular size, because you have make it bigger by slowly increasing, eating a lot and lot of carbohydrates or a lot of food. So slowly you have to shrink it back.
That being said, some people are very like, I am doing this and I'm going to be able to do it. Like, I'm going to cut my meals in half and I'm going to deal with the consequences. And they are able to do it because, it takes just that discipline. Like, I'm eating this size of plate, I'm going to cut it by half from now. And then they will do the half until some point, and it will even decrease them more. So it depends on how serious you are also to it, because it's kind of like quitting smoking. Some people decide one day I'm quitting smoking, cold turkey. They don't even take medications to quit the smoke, and they have been smoking for years. And because of the discipline, they stick to it, and they eventually don't need it. They don't get the cravings anymore. But some people too, you have to medicate them, and they even fail on the medication. They fail on the medication just to quit smoking. You have to do it over and over before they can get up. So it depends on the individual and how seriously you want to do this. But if you want to do it, you can do it, and that's the beauty of the thing. And no matter how long it takes, you have to be stuck to your guns and say that, look, I'm doing this, and that's my decision. And sometimes we, because we don't live in isolation, it will be not just your decision. You have to talk to the people who also feed you to make sure that you're on the same plan, because they don't know you decided that you're going to eat half of the same meal you've been eating. And so they are going to give you the full bowl again, and the temptation will come. I didn't want to eat this, but they gave me all this, But you got to talk to them. And even if possible, if you are there and they are serving, you go there and tell them, no, I want this size. So it's like a holistic approach with the entire family that is around us. Let somebody know in the family to check on you. Somebody, like she checks on me and I check on her.
Right.
If I see her doing anything that I feel like she shouldn't, I bring it up, and she does the same thing. And so if you let the people, especially the people who give you the food, most of us don't cook. So people who are cooking, let them know, this is how much I'm going to eat. and you can't give me more than that.
And those going for the grocery shopping,
Yes.
are they buying a lot of grains?
Or
Are
they're
they
doing the
buying,
starches.
a lot of the things that will keep you healthy throughout the week or throughout the day? So such things have been readily available. It's likely that you are going to reach up for such things. And also, if there is no soda in the house, the liquid sugar is out completely.
Out because you don't buy
because
it in
it's
the
not
house.
there. Right. So it's all cooperation, like all together as a family, we all get healthy.
Definitely. That was a good question because it's not easy. All right. So let's move on to, I think this is where we were on the yam, right? There's a couple more, actually 3 more. Let's run through them quickly. And the next one is this. This is a process to tell you what it is on TikTok. We are seeing a couple pictures, actually 3 pictures. One that shows meat. What is that? What kind of meat is that? What do you call it? It's like popcorn meat, I should say. Right? And in the middle, I think it's
ground beef or
yes,
ground turkey.
Ground, that's the term.
Okay.
The ground turkey. What's the white stuff in there? That's probably like a starchy dumpling or something in there. And then the next picture we have some fried egg with some leaves and some other plant-based foods. It looks like spaghetti, but it's not. It's actually a plant sauce. I don't remember the name. It's usually with the Oriental dishes, right? And then the last one is a lunch plate of leaves, plain leaves with some meat and some bell peppers cut on top of it. So those are the 3. Let's go through them quickly.
Yeah, so I think with the first one, we are missing the grains. The second one, just a little bit of grains. And the third one, we have a lot more grain. So I think if you look at it overall, portion size for the first one is filling the whole plate. The second one is also filling the whole plate. And the third one, kind of, I see veggie, I see protein, and I see the bell peppers. So I think the third one will be a good one
is the best
to go for.
The middle one is not as bad.
Right.
They got the proteins, right? They got some meat on top of the egg, which is probably a lot too much. And then they got some leaves.
Right.
So
you think the leaves are enough on here?
I don't think it's enough.
Just a little more.
Yeah, a little more, and even a little more of the proteins too, because it looks like it's tiny little cuts in there. But it's like one of those that you toss, kind of like a stir fry or something like that.
Right.
And always you have to be intentional about making the portions right when you are tossing some. And then the salad is, as you said, is the best, right? We got that nice green leaf with some proteins and some bell peppers on top. And you can beat those. The first one, too, is the processing. I don't know if you mentioned the processing.
No.
It's the processing. The ground beef is processed meat. So you don't want to be doing processed meat in your dishes. The ground meat is processed meat. And even the dumpling in there, potentially also processed. I don't think they did cut this. I mean, if I was doing this and I cut my pieces of potato or yam in there, then I know I did it. But if somebody has processed something like this is potentially from a white refined flour that has been made into it, and then you are also adding it on top of a processed meat. So the first one, no. Second one, I would maybe, and then the third one is definitely. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so the next one, I think is almost the best, if it's not the best. And let's go through that quickly. So we don't want people to leave us. So keep watching. Let's go through that quickly and hit the thumbs up if you have not already done that. And Leroy says, thank you very much. Leroy, you are welcome. And thank you for watching, always staying active on it. And thank you for the question. That was a very important question you asked. All right. So how do you, well, let me describe the last picture. I mean, the last but one picture before we go. And we like those thumbs up and hearts from TikTok. Thank you for doing that. Hit the follow if you're not already following. Make sure you hit a follow so we stay together. And if you go to the description of our TikTok channel to our YouTube link is there, so you can have access to YouTube videos after this show when we are done. All right, so now let's go to the next one that we are showing. We have a bowl or a plate of avocados, spinach. What was that one?
The first one.
Yeah, spinach, avocados, sweet potatoes,
Okay.
tomatoes, quinoa or quinoa, and then what's the other one? Chickpeas. Chickpeas. My goodness, that bowl has every healthy food you can think of, right?
Yeah.
It has the fats,
The healthy fat.
the healthy fats from the avocado. It actually has a lime or lemon, a slice of lime or lemon on the side too. Which this is kind of like an appetizing one, right? It has your quinoa. It has your the one that made me put this on was the sweet potatoes. That's a healthier form of carbohydrates, and it has a good potassium sources. It's good for diabetics as long as you don't overdo it, of course. And then it has the tomatoes. It has a lycopene in your tomatoes will help with prostate and your eyes and other stuff. It has the green spinach, which has all the vitamins that we know of, and then definitely the
quinoa, right?
The quinoa and this one, that one,
or the chickpeas.
The chickpeas also for your source of greens and proteins.
Yeah.
What else?
So portion size, you can see the 50% coming through because you can see the greens and the tomatoes are taking place for the veggies, right? And you can see
the
avocado,
slightly green,
healthy oil,
healthy fats.
and part of the greens, and you can see the chickpeas as a quarter, right? And the quinoa, and the sweet potato. Also, you can see that is 25%. So you can see that the plate is right on point. It has everything that you need to eat. I don't know whether they sprinkle the green with a little bit of olive oil, but they still have the good fat anyway with the avocado. Right? So that is definitely a balanced diet. That can be a good lunch for you to consume for sure.
Definitely. That's a healthy bowl. That's a healthy bowl. Now, if you eat all this, now back to the question that Leroy asked, if you eat all this, you are definitely going to be filled.
But for 4 to 5 hours.
No matter how big your stomach is. But the good thing is it's filled with the good stuff.
Right.
It's not your starch. It's a healthy one. So that is one way to go about it. In the next picture, we also have grilled chicken with some cucumbers cut on top. And then underneath the grilled chicken pieces, we have, is it lettuce? Or cabbage or whatever kind of green that forms the basis of the diet. And that plate is actually another good plate for lunch,
So what would be the carbohydrates on here?
The carbohydrates I would think would be, I can see some red pieces in there, which I think potentially from your berries. They are sweet. You can get some sugars from those. And potentially there may be some quinoa sprinkled on top. I don't see it up close. But there's not much carbohydrate. So this meal will be somebody who actually wants to lose weight quick. Low carb. This is what we call low carb diet, right? This the middle one don't have a lot of carbohydrates in there, but it will fill you. Definitely. That's the beauty. It will fill you so much, and it's a healthy way to go for lunch, even for dinner.
Okay.
It will also work for dinner. And some people think this is expensive. This is cheaper than the 2 bowls of fufu we saw, because for the fufu you have to make the soup. The goat meat and the snail or whatever meat they use, plus the starch.
And that's not cheap. That's very expensive.
Plus the starch. The soup, the gas you use to make the soup, or the electricity that you use to make the soup, the electricity that you use to make the fufu, and then plus the ingredients that you buy. This one, you just buy a bag of salad and you throw your cut pieces of grilled chicken on top, and your meal is ready. You throw in 1 or 2 strawberries or whatever it is to make it sweet, and you are gone. So this is cheaper. People think it's not. This is cheaper than your average, typical unhealthy diet. And the good thing, last time you brought it up, but I'll bring it up this time, it's cheaper because it's going to save you in the end, not spending money on doctors or insulin or other drugs for falling sick if you eat the junk food, right? So that's another thing you have to look at. Now let's talk about the last.
The last one too is a little closer to the second, right? But this time we have the eggs and we have the broccoli and we have the chicken. So you can see a lot of your greens on there. You have your lean protein, because the chicken is grilled and you have extra protein. So I don't know whether this one we are going for extra because you have your chicken and your egg.
And your egg. There's a lot of protein in there. Yeah.
Lots of protein. So maybe you can reduce the egg a little bit.
You could probably not do with the egg. You can take the egg
just
out.
the chicken and the greens.
And the greens. Or the egg and the greens without the chicken.
Right. And also you can also maybe add a little bit of carrots. Carrots has carbohydrates. So that can be a source of your carbohydrates. And that can be a good source of meal for you.
So somebody doing this without the carb, maybe somebody who wants to lose weight quick, so that not using the carbs will trick their body into burning their own fat for energy. So that's why some people do this entire picture, especially the second and third one, for people who really want to lose weight. They are cutting out the carbohydrates big time, so that you can focus on your body burning your own stored energy, so you lose it. And the good thing about this is you can find this, especially the middle one, the grilled chicken salad. You can find it even at the unhealthy food stores. I'm not going to mention them, but the fast food joints that we go to, they got them. They got them.
They don't advertise it.
They don't advertise it because people like the burgers and the double cheeseburgers and the double Whoppers and all those. But I'm telling you, if you go to a fast food joint, because you're busy, you can't cook, you can't make this, tell them you want grilled chicken salad. They got them. They will pull it from the fridge and you will marvel you that, you got this good chicken salad and I didn't know. So they got them all the places.
So they claim that the junk one can be very addictive and that will keep the person coming back. But the healthy ones, it's not popular. It's not as
that's why they don't even show it so much on the screens.
But it's there if you ask for it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I think the last image, unless you have anything else to say. So the last one, this one's a typical Ghanaian diet that is healthy, right? My goodness. I hope Leroy is around. See, because it's the only Ghanaian that I see watching now. But definitely, what do you think? The first one, the first image right here is what? I'll describe it. Those who are watching on TikTok for you to see. We have somebody with a ball of kenkey, 2 pieces of fried fish, and red pepper, blended red pepper. And some Kita schoolboys. Come on, man. Which is, to describe it, for those who don't know Kita schoolboys, these are baby fish that have been caught and fried. It is the nickname is Kita schoolboys. He took it from me. And then they have some 2 pieces of sardines, and some shito, which is black pepper, right on top there. And some cut onions and some green pepper too. And there's also some green bell peppers cut on top, but that didn't fit the slice that we are showing. And this person is eating a typical Ghanaian diet that we call kenke or dokono, right? Okay, so what do you see about this?
Yeah, that was one? Me actually.
Come on, man, that was you.
That was my meal that I had when I went to Ghana,
Okay.
That's my kenke, my fish, my Kita schoolboys, my green peppers, red peppers, and my shito.
That's the most balanced meal.
So you can see that it's balanced, all right. I don't know.
Not enough greens. Yeah, he got you. He said not enough greens. Still not enough greens.
We still don't have enough greens. Yes. So maybe you can try and do the greens. The protein may be on point though, but fish, it's fried. So fried. The fish should have been grilled. The portion size or steamed, and the portion size of the kenke, I think it will be good. The
portion size wasn't bad.
It's not bad. Okay, and so the shito, I don't know whether it's good oil or bad oil. I don't see any healthy oil on here.
On the shito,
so that may be missing. And so overall, the portion size with the carbohydrates is good. The protein is good.
And the portion size with the protein is okay.
It's okay.
It's just that the frying that is not good, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's what I would say about the first.
I agree. It looks like, and I agree with Leroy. The greens, there's absolutely no green. You were trying to cheat with the green green peppers on top hiding there. But if we are saying that it should be a half of the plate,
it should be a half of the
it
plate.
has to be half of the plate. But this one is no green at all. And the sad thing is that's how we eat all the time. Most of the people from Ghana, this is it's kinky and fish. No green. Nobody even thinks about it, you know. But it has to have your salad or your green next to it. Imagine if you had maybe 5 huge pieces of boiled or steamed broccoli next to it. That would have made
Or contomere.
or contomere.
Anything green.
Contomere stew.
So sometimes it's very expensive to buy the broccoli, you know.
Or whatever green you can afford.
So whatever green that is readily available, you can steam it. You can cut your contomere, you know, cook a little bit, not overcook it though. You know, make it a little saucy, and that can be something that you can fall on. We have the green peppers, all right. I don't know of any other green, but I think Accra Market was telling us about the other greens that other people buy at her shop. You know, so just look into greens that is readily available and try to incorporate that.
And I like the broccoli because it will fill you up too. So if you can eat broccoli will make you full because it's massive. You know, if you steam a broccoli and you add, you'll be full before you know you are full. And that will cut back on eating the starches.
And the Brussels sprouts.
The Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts, the smell sometimes.
But it's still good.
It's good though, if you can stand the smell. I can't stand the smell, but yeah, that's another way. And the next image, it's salmon. Salmon with steamed carrots, broccoli. What was the other one?
Carrots, broccoli, and cauliflower.
Cauliflower, okay. What's that? The tomato sauce on top?
And a sauce.
And a tomato sauce. Right. So this one too, you got the greens. The greens are almost. Taking the whole thing, which is good. The protein is also all right. I just don't see the healthy fats. I don't see any fat.
Oh, that has sprinkled the healthy oil.
Olive oil.
Olive oil has been sprinkled on. Yeah, and a lot of sauce. So this was put together after I've done my jollof rice, you know. So I have the sauce, you know. So instead of going for the rice to fill my plate, I decided to go with the greens and my meat on the side and a little sauce on it, just to give it a little taste. Instead of adding like the sugary dressing, you know, that can be a good sauce to make your vegetables a little tastier by doing that. Yeah.
I see. All right, and then the next one is another healthy one, which is the baked salmon on top of salad, right? Some greens. This one too, I don't have anything wrong to say about it. The salmon has the fats in there, the oily fish, right? So you don't need to add any extra fat to it unless you want to eat some nuts after this, which is good.
Right.
You know, after this you eat some nuts and you go for a walk. Oh, come on, man.
I'll sprinkle with the nuts on the greens too.
Yes. Yes. On the greens, you can have your nuts on there. You can have your nuts as part of the green too. So, which is good. So this is a bowl of greens with the baked salmon fillet on top of it. It's really looking good. And I think, they got some pieces of cucumbers, tomatoes, and even lime or lemon on the side, right? So all those add to the flavor of the diet. So this will make for a healthy lunch. And I know some people don't have time to do this for lunch, but at least if you don't eat it for lunch, eat it for dinner, and it's going to be what you want. I think that is another good one. Is there any other things that we want to add to it?
Okay. Do we have everybody?
Yes. So I think that is about all the ones that we put up. So now if you are watching, we want you to ensure that you are making your own tweaks. Remember, we talked about 5 different kinds of tweaks to add to your lunch to make it healthier for your blood sugars.
Not to spike. Right?
Not to spike your blood sugars. We talked about the portion sizes. We talked about making sure that you want to go through them quickly? Or?
Yeah, so the plates, you have your 50% of greens, 25% of good complex carbohydrates and good fat and oil, right, as 25%. And the other 25% is your lean protein. That should be your plate. Even if it's not exactly that, I think that should be something closer to every time that you sit to eat. You have to divide the portion in such a way that you're getting your balanced diet, right? And the second one that we talked about is you have to try and avoid the sugary dressing. So if you're doing your salad, you don't want to defeat the purpose by adding extra sugary dressing. You have to try and make something healthier at home so that you will apply, or just stay away from it altogether. Just sprinkle your olive oil and you're ready to go. Or you can do your apple cider with a tahini that we are talking about. Make your own salad, however you can put together, so that you know the contents. There is no hidden sugar in there that will spike your blood sugar. That's the second one.
That's
right?
the second. And the third one we also said was that you should potentially watch out for sneaky carbohydrates. You don't want to be tricked into eating carbs when you are not looking for them, because sometimes without knowing, they will find their way. So refined carbohydrates, but I mean something as obvious as white bread, pasta, or sugary snacks, cakes. I mean, you got to ban them from your house. Muffins. All those things can be replaced with, whole grain breads, and that no more than 2 slices, when you add it to your meal. And so that is another one that we showed you as a trick to tweak your lunch. And the other one,
and you have to get the timing right. If you break your fast, you have to wait for about 4 to 5 hours before you eat your lunch. You don't want to eat your lunch 2 hours after you've eaten your breakfast. It's likely that you won't have enough time throughout the day. It's likely that you're going to do your dinner early. It's likely you're going to go to the third meal and the fourth meal, and so give your body time to use up all the food from breakfast before you do lunch. In so doing, you steadily maintain your blood sugar throughout the day.
You do. And then lastly, we said that what did we say last
You
again?
avoid sugary drinks.
You should avoid the sugary drinks, your sodas, the minerals, and any kind of drink that is unnecessary. You are eating lunch. It's lunch and water. You don't have to add any drink at all.
Wash it down with,
If you want to wash it down, water is what we use to wash. We don't use sugar to wash down anything. Right? Yeah, so you wash it down with plain water. And if you are not somebody who can do waters, do sparkling water so they can get a face like you get from sodas. Some people too, they want to hear that from the soda can. So buy waters that are like that, sparkling water, and use those, and it will trick your brain into thinking you are drinking soda. Of course, you can taste that you're not drinking sugar, but that's the whole point. You don't want to drink sugar, right? So that is another thing that we said, definitely. And so I think this is
and I think the last added bonus was take a walk.
Take a walk after
10 to
lunch.
15 minutes stroll.
Man. Yes. And that will help your blood sugars to go down, because you are using some of the energy that you used up and that you picked up from your food. So yeah, that was a beautiful trick right there, to take a walk. And it's not just for lunch. You could do it for dinners or breakfast. Just take a 10 to 15 minutes quick walk in the neighborhood, around the office, even in the office after lunch. Just walk around a little bit, say hi to somebody. Don't just sit down at your desk all day when you have had lunch. Use some of the energy by walking around and burning some of them. I think that is a good place to. And so thank you for staying with us, and we hope that you are going to share with others if you haven't already done that. If you're going to watch it later, or if you watch later, don't forget to add your own tricks or tweaks to your lunches that makes your blood sugar stable and not spike. That's the whole point of the show. So maybe you have something interesting we didn't mention. Put it on, because other people may be looking for that. It may help us also, because as we say, we are all learning and growing together with health, one meal at a time, one change at a time, one lifestyle change at a time. So until we see you again, we say, beloved, we wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Thanks for watching. See you again next week.